Here comes the Nastagram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastagram RPG podcast. This is Empire's End.
Hi, this is Dean. I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Victor Argus, Operations Officer or Ops.
Hey, I'm John, and I play Lieutenant Commander Poro Randar, callsign Metalhead, Commander of the Air Group or CAG.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt. I play Gaius Loctus Vilfug, and I am the Medical and Personnel Officer, or MED.
Hey everyone, this is Dan. I play Lieutenant Junior Grade Nero Orn, Communications and Intelligence Officer, or COIN.
And I'm Josh, and I'll be your Game Master. This is Episode 3, Away Team.
All these hungry and green miles forgiven.
Lieutenant Commander Randar, personal log. It was a tense conversation in the CIC about next steps in light of the communication Argus just received. Argus would send communication to Sector Command, the good doctor would speak to the governor, and then Kuiper, and Nero would speak to his contacts in station. Captain Cass was given the green light to go ahead with the mission to retrieve the CO, and I sent Slimo and Dosh to make sure they got there safely. Roy came into the CIC with what I thought was his usual bluster, but turns out we may have a saboteur on board.
A couple hours has passed, and you guys are getting ready to do a debrief with Cass, whose Marines and the TIEs have returned from VRX-2. In the interim, Dean, you were alerted to this message, which came back from ARAF Sector Command. Reiko 72 from Sector Command. Secure VRX system. Be alert for any rebel activity. Prosecute to fullest ability. Do not allow dissemination of information of Endor attack. Stand by for further orders. Do not expect immediate resupply.
Easy enough.
Cool.
Pretty cool. Definitely, like, from reading it, you're like, this was probably written by some ops officer up there.
Of course.
Based off his direction, not by the fucking
Commander.
I'm sure it's
Admiral.
the same message. They just cut and paste Reiko in whatever system they sent it to. One of the things I wanted to do in the interim, if I may have Mr. Game Master, I guess, in Star Wars.
Yes.
You're like, yeah, I'm a fucking master of games.
Grand game master.
Wait a minute. Story Weaver.
GGM. Is I wanted to alert the customs corvettes to maintain a little bit more strict protocol in terms of interdiction of vessels unknown to us, and to coordinate that information with any of the crew that report to Nero, so he doesn't have to do everything.
Okay.
And just keep communication. Just keep a little tighter on interdiction in terms of maybe searches, maybe figuring things out, maybe a little more tighten up security on the border.
So to be clear, those two corvettes are docked to Reiko.
Okay.
And are not fully manned unless they're sent out on a mission,
I see.
which can either be a patrol or a deliberate interdiction. The Phalanx 2 is down right now due to battle damage.
We understand that. Does the Cap typically handle? They don't handle customs, do they?
No, unless they're escorting for it.
Or chasing?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you basically would have to stand to the crew and launch it. Again, it could be planned, like, all right, we're doing a system-wide,
All right, then we'll hold off for now.
whatever. But yeah, but basically, like, that Corvette's sitting tied up to Reiko unless you launch it.
It's just in other words, maintenance just sitting there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it's not. It can operate, multiple days for sure. But it's it's designed
Until we secure fuel, maybe not.
That has that runs off. It's different fuel than Starfighter, so probably a bigger pool that it's drawing from. Same stuff as like the shuttles and even some of the light transports, things like that. So you have a bit more access. Some of it is just the manning too. The crew that would like the crew of those ships is also kind of like the crew of Reiko, like the deck section that kind of runs the station. So you're pulling part of.
I read you loud and clear.
You know,
got it. What's the launch time of that bad boy?
I would say you keep it on like I would say at best probably like 15 minutes.
I figured. Okay. I come out into the CIC and I look around at everybody.
Nero standing at the security station with one of his technical officers.
We've received communications from Arif Sector Command. Let's just say we should not expect any relief anytime soon. The good news is that they're not pulling any of our own resources, which means it's up to us to secure our own resources, which I understand we're already doing, which is great. Additionally, we must not allow this information regarding this defeated Endor to propagate among the crew. We have to keep it quiet if possible. Since we don't have much in the way of interdiction, I want to make sure that we can still continue to keep an eye out on any type of traffic that comes into and out of the system and or even nearby systems. If there's one thing we know, I look around at the crew on the CIC, is that we have suspicions of a saboteur who's conducted an operation against our station.
You see like a few heads turn from some of like the junior crew that are in there.
This report came to us from Roy, the engineer, the chief engineer, and he told me that this was not an accident, that the 9 people that were injured were in fact lucky, that the 72 coupler, I believe he said, failed. Had they not, all 9 would have been zeroed into space. So I ask you all to be vigilant. Don't accuse anyone. If you have information, bring it to your direct supervisor.
Heads nodding.
We're at war still. Nothing has changed. We're at war with the rebels. The war is not over. It's just a loss. As you're all aware, the Empire has overwhelming numbers, training, and we have the stronger hearts than these ne'er-do-wells and rebel scum as they are.
Josh, I'm not watching.
You get a character point every time somebody says rebel scum.
I'm not watching the commander as he's kind of giving this speech. I'm watching everyone else, and I'm trying to judge their reaction both to the news of the Endor loss and also the of a traitor being amongst the. I can roll search or.
I would say, well, first of all, Dean, take another point for character point for in control.
Okay.
I like that little schmurf in there.
Smurf.
And I would say this is more, for this sake, let's use investigation.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dan, make an investigation roll on that.
Yeah, not very good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
10. Okay. You think
Just
that
scan the crowd.
most people in here seem to have the most reaction to this idea of a saboteur. That seemed to not shock, but people seem to react visibly the most to that. You also think that in general, people seem a little bit tight, a little bit nervous, maybe comforted a bit from what Argus just said.
Cool.
The crew is, they're all going about doing their jobs, but I would say of the actual military crew, the word is getting around.
Of course.
For sure.
Well, Metalhead did tell someone, right?
Yeah, one of my lieutenants.
Yep.
And other
Those fucking pilots
crew.
are chatty Cathy's.
you've gone through like a couple watch cycles in the CIC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, okay.
I would assume, Randar would assume that would be known, that's need to know information within the Imperial Navy.
Yep.
But there's just no one who's like, shucks, my plan didn't work.
Gosh darn it.
Okay.
I talk about a saboteur guy does a fist bump.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rebel scum.
Dunk.
Yeah.
Me.
He skates low, fucking pumps his fist.
None of that. I didn't pick up on any of that.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Why is the junior ops officer doing a soccer's goal dance during this speech?
The Ronaldo.
Oh fuck! I guess it's him.
Yeah.
Cass walks in. He's in his fatigues. Still see stained with sweat a bit. His body armor is off. He always carries a sidearm.
Of course. Assuming all his Marines do.
Yeah, and a beefy vibro fucking blade strapped
Cass.
to his.
Got
Yeah.
to see you return safely.
Yes, sir. I can go over the operation if you'd like. He's got a data pad in his hand.
Let's do it.
Lieutenant Sue should be here momentarily.
I'm sorry.
Lieutenant Sue,
Very well.
he was also on planet. He was there at the shuttle.
Poor guy. I totally sidelined him. Or railroaded
Since he has a
him.
cool name and Dan gave us a name, Draso, you have the con. I go into the.
Yes, sir.
We all go
Okay.
into the room.
The conference room. All right. So you guys are there. You have. Do you call Cheng up for this?
Yes,
You do.
absolutely.
Okay. So it is Dean, Argus.
Every department head.
Every department head. All 6 department heads. The 4 of you plus Cass and Roy, and then also Lieutenant Sue. What about Lieutenant Thorne?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's all covered in grease.
He's got like yellow, like Rubbermaid gloves on. Oh, poor guy.
He walks in behind right behind Roy, looking
Worse for wear?
looking a little worse for wear.
Getting put to work, is he?
A little head a bit down. Sue walks
He's a
in.
mastership organizer, so.
Lieutenant Sue, Bandit, walks in. You see his eyes flash over to Nero real quick.
Nero holds his gaze.
You see like a small head shake, and then he catches your eye, Argus, and kind of looks down for a minute. Cass he stands up, or he hasn't sat down. Cass hasn't.
Cass is going to debrief us on the condition of the CO. Thank you all for coming. Cass? I sit down.
I'll get right to it. It's my opinion, with limited evidence, that the CO was deliberately taken into captivity by unknown forces.
Captured.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Sue, if you would like to go over the details leading up to our arrival. Sue stands up.
I gave him an icy glare.
Sue? Sir, gentlemen, we headed down to the planet. Myself, the CO, 2 Marines, and 3 more crew on the Lamba. The CO was going to attend some sort of gathering.
What time?
He said he needed to be at the governor's residence at 1800. We departed the station here at 1500. We landed maybe 1710, and the Marines accompanied him to the governor's residence. Myself and a couple of the crew.
Bandit,
Sir?
take a deep breath. There's nothing we can do right now, correct?
I don't know, sir. I hope so. But we left a watch on the shuttle, of course. Me and co-pilot went out for a drink. We were off duty.
Of course. What time did you go for your drink? After 1800?
Yeah, we. I mean, there's not a lot on New Cailiri, but there's a couple spots. We grabbed a bite and a couple drinks.
What was the name of the place you went to?
Capstones, I think.
Very well. You'd say you got there shortly after 1800?
It was a bit later, probably 2000. We had to refit the shuttle.
So he arrives at Red Mare's Manor, say 1800 or 1710 you landed. Did he depart your company early?
Yes, there was the governor sent a speeder.
What time did the speeder arrive?
1730.
Nero? We're starting to zero in on communications we can go look back on in terms of logs.
Understood.
So 1730, he's picked up. He's brought back to the governor's place. He was due to arrive at 1800. Let's just say he gets there early. Can we confirm he did in fact arrive? I looked to the doctor. Did Titus say he arrived, doctor?
Do I? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you spoke to him, he seemed surprised anything about missing, and he kind of said something offhand about
meeting someone,
making a new acquaintance. A clear euphemism.
I can confirm that he arrived at the governor's mansion and he met a acquaintance there.
An acquaintance? Male, female, human? Bothan?
As far as I know, female.
Human?
Sue says, yeah, sir. I mean, according to, I gave him a name. That corporal, anybody remember? No.
Which one?
Corporal that was with him.
Yeah,
You can edit it in if you need to. You might want to put out
at corporal.
Corporal.
It would be funny if you did it like those old Family Guys. When the year was 2000, Jesus, like the name doesn't matter. Like the voice is so different. It's like the worst edit ever. Like, what the fuck? That stands out a little there, Josh.
Sue says, sir, I mean, according to the Marine corporal that was with him, I thought you were going to go, what was his name?
I've been a ball buster about it. I'll let that one go.
Sue says, according to the Marine corporal that was with him, they waited at the governor's mansion, and we're going to return with him. Seemed a bit overkill, but they were there. And said a bit after midnight, maybe 0:30, Commander Hethna departed. It was in the presence of a human female.
What did she look like?
I didn't see her, sir. The corporal said she was pretty striking.
Human, not Cailiri.
Yeah, human.
Josh, do I have a sense of how many humans are actually on planet versus Cailiri?
A lot.
Okay.
Less.
But
probably
Cailiri's
more-
only got like 100,000 people, you said, right?
150, something like that.
Okay.
I mean, majority Cailiri.
Yeah.
But not
Okay.
weird to
Yep.
see humans. And there are a smattering of other races too.
Mhm.
I mean, they said she was a looker, sir. I mean, she was in some kind of evening dress, and they seemed kind of arm in arm, and the CO said he wasn't going to be coming back and dismissed the Marines, but Corporal
The corporal.
Corporal Hugh, sir. Oh wait, no, fuck, my name is Sue. I don't want to do that.
You and Sue.
You and Sue?
The misadventures of you and Sue.
Rosencrantz and fucking Guildenstern over here.
Corporal Dane, you fuck.
Good name.
Hang on. Next time, all 223 military personnel are having names. We have a fucking battle roster.
Where's Corporal Dane now? I look around the room.
Captain Cass says he's in the squad base, sir. I can send for him if you like, but I have he holds up his a data pad. He says I have his debrief in his notes.
As long as you trust Corporal Dane's debrief, I don't see a reason to call him up here. Might be a bit intimidating for him.
Appreciate that, sir. Plus the GM only wants to do so many voices in one fucking scene.
Corporal.
Let's get
Let's make sure that the GM is just talking to himself for the whole episode.
Oh, riveting.
Next thing you know, you see Josh holding a book of accents. He's like, fuck this fucking game.
Corporal Sue.
Lieutenant Sue.
Lieutenant Sue. How often would the CEO leave with acquaintances?
It's the first time I'm aware of it. I mean, I've been down a couple other times with him.
Who else has accompanied him?
I mean, leaving the...
No, I mean, who regularly attends him?
I've been down there once on the Lambda.
Yeah, it's
It's a rotation.
yeah, it's sort of a... I mean, it's a nice opportunity to stretch your legs a little bit and...
Feel real gravity?
Yeah. So we kind of pass it around.
I was curious if there was a pattern.
Other than taking the Lambda, they knew he was coming.
And, well, anyway, Corporal Dane thought it'd be better. Followed the commander back to a small house, looked like a residence, bit off to the side. I mean, New Cailiri is pretty small, but even with that, off the beaten path. But they entered. The CO turned to the Marines again and told them basically more or less to get lost, and he'd see him at the pad in the morning. And
I believe we can use our imaginations from here.
yeah, well, they did honestly, Dane's got a head on his shoulders. I told Cass, I mean, they did a walk around the house. He said seemed a bit unnecessary. They came back. I was still awake when they got back. It was after 1. We'd gotten back at least an hour before that. Yeah, we racked out and we had a watch, got up. I guess I started getting a little antsy. By 10:00, I was a bit concerned. I mean, it's a CO, sir. Like, I didn't give him a bedtime. We were supposed to head back up at 1800. Maybe after 1100 or so, I asked Corporal Dane to go take a look. Said he went back to the house. They did a walk around, didn't see anything. They tried knocking. No one there. No indication of lights. Residence, doors locked. Came back, reported that. I put a call into NCC to anonymously just see if there'd been any reports. I didn't really get anywhere with that. And well, not that long after I called up, tried to get a hold of the command. His eyes flash over to Nero again. And that's when we spoke, sir. So
Understood, Sue. Sounds like you followed protocol and orders. You're dismissed.
Thanks, sir. You hear him take a deep breath as he turns and he does a smart little about face, walks out.
Cass, your opinion on him?
He's nervous, but
He's sitting in front of all the department heads. Of course he is.
I don't think he did anything wrong, sir.
I don't either. So we agree on this. Cass, you mentioned there was some sort of repulsor craft. The communication was a bit garbled.
When we reached down the surface, there was a couple crafts from NCC. They had a sergeant, Imperial Army with them. I guess they do kind of liaison work. They said they'd been asked by the governor to coordinate with us.
I see.
Corporal Dane led us to the site. The NCC assisted us in entry. Went inside. Again, my Marines are not police, sir. So,
Of course not.
we did a sweep. That looked clear cut like a setup. That house was not lived in. It was not furnished. Some bare bones things in the first couple entryways. There was a garage. It seems to me that the only reason, my guess, this place was chosen is it had a back entry garage that left basically the perimeter of New Cailiri. NCC assisted. We saw.
An out of the way spot to have romantic interludes, you would say?
I don't think so, sir. I don't think any interludes happened.
I see.
There wasn't even a made-up bed. What we did find was signs of multiple individuals. There was some food waste. There was boot marks, things of this nature. I think there was a team there. My gut instinct, sir, and I don't have a ton of evidence for this, is that that woman brought the CO back there. There were multiple men that were there, and they took him somewhere.
Understood.
NCC is supposed to be investigating further, but I don't know how far they're going to get. I don't know how much of a priority they're going to make it. I think if we're going to find them, either they're going to get lucky or we need to go down there with other assets than I have to offer.
Understood. Thank you very much, Cass. You're dismissed.
Sir,
I glance at him. Does it look like he's carrying the astrogation information that I asked him to pull?
oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He turns to leave and then he says, Orn, this is from NCC, recovered from the escape pod.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, Captain. We're looking for a mystery woman, gentlemen.
Depending on the size of the repulsor craft, it might be viewable from air.
Doctor.
Would you like me to lean on the governor, sir?
Affirmative. I need you to contact Redmare. I need to see if we can get access to his security footage. We need to make him understand how important it is.
He also may be aware of known entertainment.
This woman was hired for a very specific task. It's unlikely she is a direct link to this. She was probably used as a lure. If we take the captain's expertise into consideration, we must understand that this team that pulled him away, it's an unnerving way to hear it, isn't it? Rebel team? Don't know. Why take the CO if you haven't contacted us for any type of negotiation? If you were the Black Jesters, that's what you would do, wouldn't you?
It would be ransom.
It would be ransom. If you were a rebel, well, perhaps you would torture him, try to get information. Seems a bit ambitious considering our location and our charge here.
If they have people on station, perhaps they're trying to get information about the station to use for sabotage.
Sorry, Cass, say he took his time walking to the door.
Slow walk.
He turns back and he says, one more thing, sir. I have a feeling there's some more suspicions the NCC might have had that they were not completely forthcoming about.
I see.
Whether it's a threat they're aware of.
Who is heading up that NCC investigation?
I'll forward you the name.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to talk to NCC. I'll get a hold of that contact as soon as possible. We need to see if we can find this mystery woman who is striking and human. Red dress, I believe he said.
That is something I can likely assist with, sir. It would be my pleasure.
Coordinate with the doctor.
Understood.
John, you think of something else that, you're talking about spotting repulsor craft. Depending on the altitude they flew, there is a very simple,
Traffic
hardly
control?
fair to call it a spaceport, but there is like a tower, basically, that,
Has
does
some form of
track-
radar.
Yeah.
Sensor logs.
I can also look into the traffic control on station at the spaceport. They may have some pings out that way. If we can track the direction of the ship, it'll ease our reconnaissance of the area.
Let's hope they were flying high enough.
Let's hope. It's dense jungle, so there's a good chance that they're above the trees. Right, it's a dense jungle planet. Right?
Yeah,
Lush.
most of it.
Excellent.
Yeah, like every other planet in Star Wars, it's one fucking kind of
Yeah,
terrain.
that's it.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's a lot of jungle, especially around where Nuclearia is.
Yeah.
So
There may be some merit if we were to collectively go down there, sir.
I would concur. We go down, talk to NCC, talk to Redmare in person. We need to let him feel our Imperial presence. I don't want to keep doing this over comms. I want to read these men. I want to see their faces. So let's do something.
fucking away team.
So let's do something we're fond of doing here. Let's waste fuel.
To that point, sir,
Hmm.
I was considering your thoughts on a trap
Yes,
for the possible saboteur.
I see. You have some ideas? I look around the room. Who's still left in the room?
It's the four of you plus Thorn and Roy.
I trust them.
If you are to think like a rebel, you'd want to target those places that were most vulnerable,
Yes.
notably fuel, and perhaps even our corvettes. And those are two opportunities that we could present as vulnerable. I could even manage something within the systems themselves that may look appealing to someone who knows their way around programming the station systems.
Very well.
And if they bite, we would be notified.
Well, that small shipment we're going to get from Kuiper, that would be a good target. Easy to lose that in the shuffle. Make it look like it's left on the dock somewhere. Ease of access.
Agreed. We could even provide empty barrels. We have plenty of those.
We do.
Next time we liaise with Kuiper, we need to talk to them about the usefulness of decoy ships. They'll assume the cost of that fuel.
I was like, all right, talking now.
I think we have 2 plans then, Commander.
We do. We have multiple plans.
All the plans. We have the best plans.
Thorn says, well, shall I prepare my gear? Are we headed to the planet?
I would check with Roy on that.
Yes, well, if Lieutenant Roy needs me, but I could also be assistance as a comp force and Commodore representative. This time of any, it is especially important that we show the flag, as it were.
Josh.
Does he have a black ribbon? Armband.
Josh, would Vargas think that a comp force...
Keep renaming yourself.
My buddies
Josh.
call me Varg.
Josh, would Argus... Josh, would Argus know or suspect that the presence of a comp force operative, if he plays it cool and keeps his mouth shut, and just his presence there could create an intimidation factor that we could use as persuasion?
It could go either way.
Could go either way.
It could be an intimidation. It could also make people clam up.
I see.
You know, like think about if you want to go ask some questions and you brought a cop with you. I mean, I'm not saying cops are compnor.
Completely.
But like just, you know, some people might be more prone to kind of be a bit more forthcoming. Some people...
In character, I think the police would be a great idea and a welcome addition to the party.
All right.
Of course you'd call the police.
Character point for Matt.
Now you're getting it.
Ooh. It did hurt a
My
little
neighbors
bit.
are having fun. Please call the authorities. Ugh.
It's 9
It's
o'clock.
one of those
I can hear some rock music.
It's one of those barbecues and they're rap singing. Fuck. All right, here we go. I turn and I look towards characters' names I just can't remember. Get a great name too. Randar, perhaps you could have one of your junior officers coordinate just some simple decoy protocol with Kuiper.
Sure.
At least we can at least have this person make it clear that we are not going to be assuming the cost of those decoy ships and that we're doing it to protect them so they don't get destroyed by rebel operatives.
Certainly.
If I may, Commander.
Please do.
Kuiper may or may not know of the current situation, and it may draw their attention that, well, there's things afoot.
Noted. Mascot has increased pirate activity.
Dan, you do know that Kuiper Corporation owns the only long-range communications besides Imperial on the station. So you're not sure if they know yet, but they would be perhaps the most likely next source.
They'd probably reach out to us as soon as they knew.
The clock is...
Because they'd be nervous. They'd be like, what's this mean?
But the clock is ticking with them. Yep.
You assume so, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Could we use that to our advantage? That we have this information before them?
Do you have something in mind, Doctor?
Not particularly, but, well, information is a great advantage, especially out here.
I think, if anything, Doctor, you're wise to begin negotiations for fuel now. If they don't think that we can provide the necessary security without our backing, then we will fall to the wayside.
I second Dorn. We have the initiative as of now. Once we lose initiative, Kuiper might be a little bit more stubborn.
Agreed.
Let's prepare ourselves to shuttle, gentlemen. We're going to go down to the planet, talk to NCC as well as Red Mare.
I'll get the lambda turned around, sir.
I'll call ahead and let the governor know.
No, don't. Like
Escort flight, Victor?
Of course.
Okay.
Okay, so who are you guys planning on taking?
Me. I'm going to go.
You gonna go?
So Hunter Flight, the TIE Interceptors, will go with Sue.
All four?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you flying one of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, Sue,
Big dick in it.
yeah, buddy. Mac and Cora. Ensign Mac and Ensign Cora.
Okay. You're taking Dean. You're also taking
Yeah,
the Doc and Coin here.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm taking droid with me.
Taking a droid. What kind of droid?
An interrogation droid.
Murder droid.
Taking an interrogation droid. Sure. You can have one of those.
And in terms of coordinating the decoy operations, I'll have Lieutenant Theron work with Kuiper on that.
Okay.
Slimo.
What's the how many fucking people can you fit on a
Did you say Sue?
Sue, yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask who we.
He's my
a boy
XO.
named Sue.
Cheng says, all right, so I guess I'll hold things down here.
Thanks. Yes, Cheng, please do.
Actually, I won't take Sue because he's my XO. He'll run the operation with Kuiper
Okay.
for the decoy. And so, yeah, it'll be what I have, Mac, Cora, and Hujade, the guy who had the combination.
Okay. I like how you really fucking spiced that up.
Is it? What is it? Hujade?
No, I just like how you said it.
Hujade.
Hujade.
I'm going to have Cass give us a couple of Marines
Okay.
to go down, however many he thinks we should take. And I'm assuming he's not going to want to send the guys that just got back. Maybe he can rotate the guys out who are doing ship station duty.
Sure.
It doesn't matter who they are. Just the presence alone is, should things get weird, and to project a little bit of force if we need to.
Yep. So I'm trying to-
Josh.
Yep.
Before we go down, can I roll computer programming? And basically, I want to create something that will ping us if someone interferes or opens a specific file that would allow them to do that same energy spike to the location of where we're going to put the decoy barrels.
Wait, say that again.
Yeah.
So we're going to put the empty decoy fuel barrels in a cargo bay. And similar to the way that they created the energy spike to blow that bay last time.
Yep.
I want to basically look up how you would route that, and then create something that would alert us.
If somebody was in that pathway.
Yes.
All right. Give me computer engineering.
Yeah. Computer programming.
Or yes, computer programming.
Engineering is an advanced skill. One of those fancy ones that
Fancy.
are hard to get.
Events.
Wow. It's a good roll, Dan.
20 and I'll use a character point. That's just one more d6, right?
Holy shit.
You're already in difficult range.
Yeah.
I am.
You are. 25 is like very difficult. 30 is heroic.
Okay. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I'd say with a 20, you're pretty confident.
I mean, I want it to also not be tracked on our.
Oh, in that case, you failed.
That was the 21. Okay. Dean, Argus goes to Cass and tell him, he says, all right, sir, I'd like to send at least 4, I would think.
By all means.
Sure you don't want me down there?
If you need the rack time, not necessary.
I don't.
I'll see you on the shuttle.
Roger. Okay.
I speak to Petty Officer Drayson.
Okay.
And I explained to him kind of the what we're after here, and that he'll need essentially an action team ready to respond to any notification so that they can zero in on where that access point is. So he'll have to coordinate with probably Sergeant Oost.
Okay.
To have a team ready on standby.
Response team in case it triggers.
Yeah. I mean, he can narrow it based on when we create the decoy for those barrels. So he doesn't have to have it indefinitely.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Send you an Instagram of the pilots.
Trademark.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Bit of time passes. You guys grab your gear. You're all just wearing regular uniforms.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Mine's bright red.
Bright red. That's a good sign.
I have a force pike.
So we have the Doctor, Nero, Commander Argus, and Metalhead. Or no, you're in one of the ties.
Yeah, I'm in the tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the three of you plus Cass and
4 Marines.
four more Marines.
I have a change of civilian clothes with me.
Okay. Slimu in the shuttle calls for clearance to launch, grants it. Randar, you're cleared to launch with your flight.
Yep.
And a fairly impressive for the VRX system show force of a Lambda shuttle escorted by 4 TIE interceptors heading down to the planet's surface.
Interceptors have atmospheric.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like pretty much anything short of like a fucking Star Destroyer has.
Yeah.
Like even the most of the smaller cap ships, I think,
Yeah,
have atmospheric.
like
Because
Moncal.
I think even
No, like Corellian Corvettes
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
shit like that.
yeah, interceptors can fly, but they probably just have repulsor lifts or whatever. Yeah, who knows? It's magic.
It's Star Wars.
Star Wars magic.
Fucking Star Wars magic. All right, and you guys head down the surface of Virax. It only takes about, you guys are cooking, takes a bit over an hour to get to the planet, and you call down for clearance to land.
Mm-hmm.
There is no military spaceport.
I'm assuming Red Mare's not going to be thrilled with this.
I mean, it's a bit out of the ordinary. It depends kind of what you guys. I mean, you're free to come and go as you please.
Mhm.
It's definitely going to raise some eyebrows if 4 TIE interceptors, come
interceptors
down into
are the-
atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's going to make some attention.
Good.
Sure.
We like that.
What's the name of the starport?
Just nuclear one.
Nuclear one. This is Hunter Flight. Request low flyover over the starport.
Flyover. Roger. Number of craft.
4. TIE interceptor.
Okay. Are you going to be landing?
We'll be making a 180 to land. Just looking for any obstructions to the landing process.
Roger.
Fucking kid.
Stand by. Got one transport inbound. I will vector off. You hear him
Hunter
like
Flight inbound. Hunter Flight, keep it close. We're going to make it nice and quick. I'm gonna fly the scene in Top Gun where he buzzes the tower. Coffee goes flying.
All right, you guys get down to the surface of Virax. You look ahead through the windows of the Lamba up ahead, and you see the settlement of New Cailiri. It's kind of this grayish dot at first in a sea of green and blue. Virax is a very, very lush planet, vibrant with plant and animal life. Very fertile. There's a lot of those natural resources are starting to be eked out, and New Cailiri is kind of carved into this. Some of it is a lot of prefab buildings, and then it's kind of like a patchwork. You have a core of these prefab buildings. You have some sort of imperial elements, especially with the palace. But then there's a lot which are actually much more organic real wood buildings from all the trees. So it's a strange kind of hodgepodge looking little settlement of about 30,000.
Lumber's pretty pricey these days, so
You see the ties streak kind of low across.
Contrails coming off the back of them.
Yeah, making Stuka kind of sounds as the good guys arrive.
John's interceptor loses power and he has to do an emergency
Oh,
landing.
no.
Not again.
Not again.
And the Lambda lands in one of the handful of open spots, maybe one of the couple actual enclosed hangars. Get kind of priority routing. Lands.
Yeah, the ramp goes
ramp
down.
drops.
We got 4 of us exiting the craft, flanked by Marines.
Yep. Looks pretty fucking legit.
That's 4 time interceptors hovering to land.
All right. Yeah. So
I
all
shouldn't
4
have
interceptors
kidnapped.
landing.
No, we're gonna keep half the flight as a cap for now.
2 and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did I kidnap that guy? Oh shit! Here they come.
Mike Durant, we won't leave you. Mike Durant. Oh, Black Hawk Down fun reference.
Wow.
Fun for the kids.
That's a fun one for the kids.
All right. So you land Randar and one of your other pilots.
Yeah, Ensign Cora, and then Lieutenant Kung and
Dosh.
are flank cap.
Okay. The 2 ties, the interceptors land on one pad outside. You walk out of the open doors of the hangar. It's hot, and it's humid. You guys already kind of start lightly sweating in your uniforms. I'm assuming, Randar, you're free balling in the flight suits.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of the best part of being part of the wing. Those nuts are breathing pretty well. You walk out, and you're basically towards the one far end of New Cailiri, the quote unquote spaceport is kind of put off to the side. So you walk out, and you see like kind of 3 sides of you. There's these massive, probably 150-foot tall jungle trees kind of climbing up behind and around you. 4 of you stand, total of 10 of you there. The 4 Marines, Randar and your other pilot, and the other 4 of you. Cass is there as well.
In like all Star Wars planets, the trees are always super big. I'm waiting for one that's got like super tiny trees.
Tiny little dwarf, like a
Tiny
just
little-
a planet of bonsai trees.
Yeah. So we're all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of standing right outside this hangar.
I walk towards the hangar doors.
Hangar doors are open. You're standing kind of
I
there
see.
looking out. A couple civilian crew kind of run in and say, do you need refueling or anything?
Yes.
Roger. Go off and do their thing.
I go to Slimu X. You stand watch of the ships. Maybe pull a Marine as well, just in case.
No, look to Cass.
Cass says, we'll leave 2 here.
Appreciate it.
The little interrogation droid drifts behind me.
Oh, yeah, that's what it does.
All right. And you guys kind of walk out into the settlement. There's probably a couple repulsor lift craft that you guys can at the spaceport that you guys can requisition if you'd like to.
We do. I'm not going to walk.
All right.
We're going to go to Red Mare's.
Going to Red Mare's first.
Victor, first order, we might need to check with Station Command here, or Spaceport Command, see if they have any records of that repulsor craft.
Yes, let's do that first.
All right.
We can do like a FISDO with a fucking Marine. just a bunch of pencil pushers and an ATC.
Yeah.
Like the Navy comes showing up.
You walk into this, like it's maybe a 10-meter tower.
Yeah.
All right, we go in force.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're not splitting up.
Okay. All right.
We need to project strength in a moment of kind of weakness.
Okay. So like 7 of you fucking roll up there, including a couple Marines with blaster rifles. Cass has a rifle as well. They're wearing tack gear,
Of course.
armor, and there's 2 guys up in the tower, and they kind of stand up. This, gentlemen, sir,
We need records.
Routine inspection of the airspace.
inspection.
Just making sure all traffic is legal.
All right. What are you looking for?
You're aware of the activity in this sector, aren't you? This system.
Most of it. I mean,
I'm walking behind.
Are you
them.
aware of casualties that the Reiko has suffered?
casual. No, I heard there was a couple run-ins recently with
Injured men, piracy, things of this nature. I start walking around and looking at the facility.
They both look nervous.
As he walks one way, I walk the other, and the droid kind of follows me behind.
That's a good sign.
He just constantly makes that humming noise.
With a giant heroin needle on it.
Yes, I mean, mostly just, I mean, we only track what comes from orbital level and down.
We're dealing with experts here. We don't expect you to have seen them, but you may have information in your sensor logs. We require it.
Yeah, of course. He kind of stands back and like gestures at the. You can kind of tell like
Completely out of the ordinary.
out of the ordinary, doesn't know, like just it's assumed like, okay, yeah, I guess they can.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
Like,
He does. Yeah.
but it's probably the first time this has ever happened
Yeah.
to them. Like,
Must be.
so
I head over to the sensors and sit down and start looking through the logs for that grid.
all right. You're looking for where the house is.
Houses, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess give me a sensors roll, I suppose,
Sure.
would be the appropriate thing.
Is there assisting in this game?
There isn't exactly assisting, there's teamwork.
Okay.
So in which case multiple people, like one person rolls command.
Mm-hmm.
They can be somebody like, it could be Argus,
Mhm.
could roll command. The difficulty is kind of made up by the GM based on like the kind of task.
Yep.
And then multiple people with the same skill could add to that.
So can we do that in this instance?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So Dean, give me a command roll.
Sure.
This is pretty easy and straightforward. Low stress, DC 10. 6 dice in command.
Yeah,
That was a
10, 14,
Oof.
15,
Probably got that.
16.
Okay.
Not a great roll, but still got it.
All right. In that case, who has the higher sensors roll?
I have a 5.
I have a 5 plus 1. So,
Okay.
Haha.
So I think adds 1d for the first person and then a pip for each after that.
Okay. So,
So,
it'd be
60 plus 1.
Okay.
And just the one person roll it, but like you're both working at it.
We both sit down at the station.
Fine, you get the
probably.
I don't get the, I haven't
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
roll yet.
All right.
Yeah, he hasn't got a single roll. Take off that tie interceptor and strafe something.
Wow.
Fear.
Guys have any
Fear
like
of this battle station.
any like police station or any police chases or anything you need help with? Or?
21.
21. Okay. You track it back. It's only 24 hours. So all the records haven't even cached yet. And
Randar.
Mm.
Look.
you do spot there's a brief sensor
Blip. Yep.
blip, and you actually spot, you got 21.
Mhm.
You spot it. You put together, I mean, there's a couple others, but there's 3 pips that come and go that don't establish any solid track
Mhm.
that are in a line, almost a straight line after you kind of correlate them, that are heading, to the northwest, well outside, directly out. So goes from basically the edge of New Cailiri into the wilderness.
It looks like they had to dip up into sensor range.
I see it there.
I go take a look.
There's nothing, they don't have enough of a sensor read to show that these are
Identify
the
it?
same thing.
Mhm.
But the correlation you're making is that there's no other spot ones. The time works for the speed. So you have a good degree of confidence that this is one craft heading in a direction, doing its best to be low
Nice.
observability.
Commander, Cap Flight can head up there, make the line, see if they see anything while we're doing our thing on the ground.
Can we continue to perhaps adjust our sensor net here and see if anything left the planet's surface from that area?
Cass leans over your shoulder, Nero and Randar. Says, can you pull back a little bit and track this further up?
I hit a few buttons and the holographic map comes up.
Overlay the coordinates.
I hit a few more buttons.
All right. Well, it's not exactly there, but if you extend that line just a bit off that line, maybe, well, less than 10 clicks off it, that's the side of that escape pod.
Of course.
Right. I haven't checked the astrogation on the pod itself, but that'll only point us to the ship.
We recovered the pod, correct?
The pod is in the custody of the
NCC.
NCC,
And it was empty.
and it was empty. Most likely, whatever was in there was materials,
Of course.
contraband. But now that we have an area to focus upon,
I look at one of these men.
it's likely we can use the station.
The two of
sensors.
them are kind of looking. They're staying off to like the edge of the
Sure.
tower, kind of.
Keep going.
Now that we have a location to focus on, we can concentrate Reiko Station. We should be able to pick up low-lying communication that we may not have otherwise been able to pinpoint.
I look at one of the operators. I say, my name is Commander Argus. As you may or may not know, I run that station that provides security.
Their eyes kind of unconsciously like look upwards to the heavens.
What I am looking for is exactly what you do when vessels enter this system. Do you have any type of customs here? Do you check cargo? Do you check?
I mean,
Suppose I was flying a YT-1300 with a cargo full of blaster rifles. Would you know about it if I landed in your spaceport?
we just handle clearance, but NCC always has. They send a vehicle to.
And do they always do this?
Pretty much, if there's not one on hand. I mean, there's one here now. I think they kind of point out the tower, and you see there's like a small repulsor left, and you see a couple of uniformed guys standing outside it.
How would you say they execute their responsibilities?
I think good.
Very well.
Everything's good here.
He's the two of them. The one that's talking is human.
Mhm.
The other one who's been kind of quiet the whole time is Cailiri.
Very well. Your cooperation has been outstanding.
Will be noted.
Sure. Glad we could help. Thanks for
I look at his name tag. Elbin, is it?
Yeah, Horace Elbin.
If I need anything, I know who to call.
Did the Imperial commander only address the human?
Yes.
I look at my eyes drift up to the new Cailiri. I say, "Good day." I leave.
Good day. You guys head back down out of the tower.
I'm gonna head to the ship and to my ship and communicate with Hujata and Cora.
This is Kung.
Kung, we have some coordinates for recon. Send it up to you now through the data pad. We're gonna need a recon flight in line to the site of the ejection pod and maybe beyond. Looking for any repulsor lifts, any signs of starfighter or starships entering or leaving, anything. But keep your distance in case they are armed.
Copy. High flyover. En route.
Orn,
Commander.
would the Reiko have any sensor logs of any types of vessel leaving the planet? Especially if it didn't originate from the spaceport?
Yes, we keep an active log.
We need to consult those logs.
Of course, we'll correlate them once we get back on board.
Well, I suppose we should go see the governor.
I'm walking back out into the hangar. Kung's on his way, making a recon flight.
Doctor, I'm going to let you take lead on Redmare. You have a relationship with him.
Sir, I can do that.
We'll all be there. Again, we want the governor to know how serious this matter is, so we'll all go together.
As you guys kind of exit like the immediate kind of tighter part of the spaceport, one of the NCC walks over, both uniform. They're both Cailiri, and one of them, he kind of nods respectfully and he says, "Gentlemen, may I be of any assistance?"
How often are you checking cargo for inbound flights to the space station?
A team checks the cargo of every ship, except for yours, of course. He teeth-bared smiles.
Of course. No illicit seizures?
From time to time, we find things.
What was the last one you found?
There were outbound, unauthorized pelts, no customs paid. Game pelts.
The security of the Empire is in good hands, I see. What about that?
He looks at you expressionlessly.
Like a dead person. Are you aware of the escape pod that landed, I believe it's approximately 10 kilometers from here?
Nero nods.
So it's 10 kilometers off that line.
I see.
So if you look at that line of that,
Call it
probably,
50.
maybe 100.
100 kilometers from here. Sort of
The-
like orient northwest in point.
He kind of rotates his head over towards his partner, and he says, "That was where Sergeant Vorta went." The other Cailiri kind of nods to him.
Sergeant Vorta. Is he one of your colleagues?
Yes, he was out there. They recovered it, I believe. I do not know.
He was first on the scene.
I think so.
Where is Sergeant Vorta now?
I'm not sure. I don't know if he's on duty.
Sergeant Vorta, I assume, is part of the NCC?
Yes.
He's one of your teammates.
Yes.
Very well.
I can call back and find out if you need to speak to him.
I would. I appreciate that very much.
He walks over to their little repulsor lift car.
I follow him.
All right. He picks up wired in comm and calls back to their headquarters.
Just have him come here. Tell him it's urgent.
Okay.
I walk away.
He says he will be here in 15 minutes. They were on patrol.
We wait the 15 minutes.
All right. You stay there. 15 minutes later, another car. This one's a little bit bigger. Actually has a auto blaster mounted on it.
Before he arrives, I
Yep.
asked that Cailiri if he can give me Vorta's report.
Yeah, he probably can pull something up on a data pad.
It's just for me to check the veracity of what he's going to tell me.
Okay.
That's all. I don't need you to type one up real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Let me read it. Let me read it to you.
Oh, I have that sheet right here. Fucking
So
what
it
are
looks
you-
like-
I'd give you a character point for that.
This other vehicle shows up. It definitely looks a little bit more rugged, has a little bit more capacity. You could fit probably 6 to 8 guys in this. It lands and the back hatch opens,
I
and
say that'll be all to the two Cailiri.
they kind of do a long, slow nod and walk away. And another Cailiri in the same uniform, but he has a 2 gold stripes on his shoulder.
Oh shit!
He
Damn.
walks down. They have kind of like a slow kind of like if you put Jar Jar Binks in a slow motion, like that kind of exaggerated
Mm-hmm.
stride, but like not a fucking goofy fuckface. And they kind of walk over to you and stop.
Sergeant Vorta,
I am Sergeant Vorta.
I am Commander Argus. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Sir, it is good to meet you.
I understand that you were first on the scene for the escape pod that was recovered a few days ago.
Yes,
Tell me about that encounter.
it was called in. I don't know if the initial spotting came from the tower or from one of your craft. We were dispatched to locate it. It was a 2-person craft, generic type, could have been from any number of freighters or transports.
Question for you, Sergeant. How much of the oxygen was consumed?
He stops and thinks. He says, none.
I'm impressed you looked.
Onboard life support was never activated. We have a high degree of confidence there was no biological creatures on board. There was also not a good area. He looks at the craft. He says, due to our terrain, we sometimes need to get into spaces where our craft can't land. We had to rope in. There was no sign of any other craft.
Do you believe you got to it first?
No.
The door was open?
Yes. It was closed but not sealed from launch.
Was it forced open or coded open?
Coded.
This particular type of escape pod, I'm assuming it has rudimentary piloting inside it, or no?
It was pre-programmed to those coordinates.
That makes sense.
Nero pulls up his data pad and punches in a few things. I'm going to send you a nastygram.
Nastygram.
I don't know if this goes beyond your expertise, Sergeant, but how do you suggest that whoever rendezvoused with this craft exfiltrated the area?
It would most likely have to be on foot.
I see.
It would be unlikely that a craft, civilian craft, could operate as we do. Although there are some charter hunters and such. No definite indications from sensor sweeps. There are many largely unmarked settlements on New Cailiri,
Could be anywhere, you're telling me.
but the wilderness is dangerous.
Did NCC follow up with any investigation to try to track these individuals?
No.
What was it considered at the end of the day? An accident?
It was filed. Final report was classified as unexplained.
And that was it.
Yes.
Sergeant Vorta?
It was written as possible malfunction. That was not my final position on the report.
Whose was it?
My supervisor.
Does the game master know his name?
Really want to fucking pull the thread on this? You're seeing this name chart. You want me to go through all of them? Lieutenant Lahani.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Vorta. You're an asset to the Empire. I turn and walk away.
I eye them, like I just kind of casually observe them for another second or two and then peel
All right.
off with the eye droid.
You check the data, the nastogram you sent. You wanted to
Monitor their heart rate.
Yep. Steady. A steady, cool 35 beats a minute.
Yowza.
All right, we're going to go to Red Mare's. A little good cop, bad cop coming.
All right.
As we
bad
try
cop
to
and worst
intimidate
cop.
a fucking governor who's just going to shit on our faces.
So you guys take a couple repulsor craft from the station.
I hitchhike.
Yeah,
You're like, it's fucking hot. This is a terrible idea.
Well, basically say like there's a couple that are set aside for official use. So
Yep.
Imperial, the NCC could probably grab them if they needed to. They're, but you guys could big dick your way there. And you head on to the governor's estate.
We don't land in his yard
with
with the lambda and the ties. You think that'd go over well? I thought about it.
It's
We're in the equivalent of the Chevy Suburban.
it's one of the larger buildings in the settlement. Pretty almost kind of halfway across New Cailiri from where you guys are, and you pull up. It is fenced. There is a 12-foot tall security fence with energy.
It's got energy, huh?
Energy fucking wires, energy spikes, energy tops,
Space wires?
energy space barbed wire.
Tesla coils.
Tesla coils. The fucking you approach and it zaps your tanks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Playing red alert.
Yep.
As you pull up, there's kind of a turnaround inside, and as the vehicles approach, one of them opens, and you guys drive in. The two vehicles stop. You see it's kind of a walkway up towards the house, probably 20 steps. And at the top of it, you see two Imperial Army soldiers standing there.
As we pull up, I say, rank has its privileges, does it not?
Certainly.
I look around the estate.
A sergeant, Imperial Army sergeant, and a man dressed in kind of almost like a butler's uniform descend the stairs, and as you guys are all dismounting the vehicles, and the man in civilian clothes speaks, and he says, "Hello, I'm Fiorgast. I am Governor Redmare's assistant.
Great name.
I was unaware of any planned visits."
This one was completely unplanned. Dreadful etiquette, I apologize. My name is Commander Argus.
Commander. Dr.
Hi.
Vilfug, it's good to see you.
And you?
We provide security. I point up in the sky. For this entire planet. And we have a problem. Is Titus Redmare, the governor himself, is he available? I look at Cass when I say that.
I will check again to see if he is ready. He was on a call.
I see. I look at the sergeant and I give him a nod of respect.
He nods to you. There's definitely like inter-service rivalry between
Of course.
like the Navy and Army, but you know, out here it's you guys are close to the same team.
Yeah.
So he says, would you care to wait inside or
Of course. It's sweltering out here, isn't it?
Yes. Nuclear is warm this time of year.
We ascend the stairs with him.
All right. You all walk up. Cass nods the two Marines, and they stay at the vehicles. So the five of you, the four of you and Cass, walk up the stairs, open the doors. You feel the fucking cool recycled air of an Imperial air conditioning system running at full power.
It's definitely space conditioning now.
Yeah.
It's fairly well appointed for being an out of the way kind of place. This is almost like a prefab mansion, you know, like
Yeah.
seeing those
The
shitty
McMansion.
a McMansion.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the term. However,
Space McMansion.
inside there are like real valuables. Like
Yeah.
there's pieces of art and shit in here.
Stuff they brought with
that-
them.
Off planet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It tries to look good from the outside, but it actually does look pretty impressive on the inside, above the caliber that you would expect.
Yeah,
For sure.
I have the skill of value, and just like kind of casting an appraising
Let's
eye.
spend the rest of the session rolling value.
No,
Let's
everything.
total
Let's-
plus his art collection.
Let's write it down. Let's,
Fucking ball breaker.
yeah.
I'm
Let's,
just fucking with you.
no, I'm not. I want to do this. I want to just.
I'm ruining this campaign right now.
The fucking human rain delay.
Oh, we got a
human
fucking-
rain delay.
Oh, cool! We got a rogue in the party. We're about to meet at the tavern. He wants to go pick people's pockets.
How
Oh, I
many?
do have pickpocket too.
Excuse me, GGM. How many pieces of art are there on the fucking walls?
2d4 pieces of art.
I want to roll for every one of them.
Roll random treasure.
What's your value?
It's 4D plus 1.
Okay. You think there's a couple things that are like legit art pieces that are thousands of credits.
Yikes! So he has much more wealth than his station.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's got a powerful family. Rich.
Thus the connection to Wilfug.
Yes.
Fior says, please wait, I'll return.
I drift over to some of the art.
All right.
This is certainly first time I saw this place. Didn't belong in this sweltering jungle.
This is a problem. All of this is weakness.
I glance at Wilfug when he says that.
He hits me with a croquet mallet.
A few kind of awkward
A highlight ball.
moments.
You fucking whizzed that shit, bro.
go by.
I'm just standing
and
behind at attention.
There's sort of a balcony with stairs wrapping down both sides of this little entry foyer. Gene, you got something?
Yes. I have a couple different skills here. I have law enforcement, might be the one you would use in this case. Maybe security, actually. That probably makes more sense. I just start glancing around the room looking for surveillance.
Okay. I'd say there's a camera that faces the doors that's not especially hidden.
How many do I see?
You see just the one.
Just the one.
How much is it worth with my value?
You're
Did I see any outside?
probably spot one.
Okay.
You'd want to look again. You weren't looking super closely,
Understood.
but you probably observed one by the gates.
Okay.
Well, you definitely saw one by the gates because you noticed it, and then the gate
The
opened.
gate opened.
Yeah.
Right.
The soldiers remained outside as well, so you're kind of there all alone, and your comlink beeps.
This is Randar.
Metalhead, this is Kung.
Kung, Metalhead, go ahead.
Completed the sweep. There's something. Might have seen some kind of small compound, roughly on that line that you gave. It's maybe 10 clicks from that escape pod location. How copy?
Solid copy. Any activity seen?
We didn't get too close.
All right.
I didn't see anything. You want us to move back in?
If it doesn't look too dangerous, get a closer look.
Roger. There's not much out there. Second pass. If there is anybody, they might get a little jumpy.
True. Why don't you stand down for now? Make cap over the mansion.
Roger, we'll orbit. I'll make sure we get sensors of anything leaving from there.
All right. Metalhead out.
Didn't say over, Metalhead, over.
The one of the doors above open, and Fior.
I step out of like the authoritative sort of front position. I fade back and start looking at Art too, and I let the doctor step forward.
Okay.
I don't want him to quite. I'll be bad cop if necessary.
Okay. You see Governor Titus Redmare descending the stairs. He is a man of maybe his mid-40s.
He's a big fat man.
Heavy set.
Heavy
Yeah.
set.
Probably 250 pounds, but not especially tall. Maybe 5'9", 5'10". His even in the AC, he seems a bit sweaty. He moves with a kind of over-practiced sense of importance as he descends the stairs, wearing rather nice custom-tailored clothes that kind of sway with his bulk as he descends. And he stops halfway down the stairs and he says, Wilfug, well, I didn't think you'd be quite so soon, and I see you've brought in guests. What a treat.
I glance at Cass's rifle, and then I glance up at the man.
He continues walking down.
I've also brought a gift. I did say the next time I'd be, I'd bring you a bottle of wine. Produce a bottle of Alderaanian wine from my sack or pack, whatever the fuck I got.
Space pack.
Yeah.
I bet you were some kind of like messenger bag, right? A little med kit in it, shit.
There you go.
Man purse. Merce.
He
Therapy, right.
walks over to you. He pats, kind of claps his hand on your shoulder, kind of gives you a warm squeeze, and he grabs the bottle and goes, what a tragedy, isn't it?
Awkward.
Yeesh.
It is. Such fine wines. But I've heard their grapes were saved. They're growing some on some other worlds.
Oh, that is I had not heard that. Well, fuck, your connections go beyond. Now that is, can you imagine if it hadn't been?
Well,
small blessings, yes.
yeah, exactly. Have you...
Well, I must say, Wilfog, I did not I do not plan on entertaining as good as it is to see you. Would have been more prepared if you'd called ahead, of course.
I understand. If you remember our conversation earlier, we would be sending a detachment of troops down. Well,
Yes. I heard they came and went. I believe. Has Norman still not shown up?
I'm just looking at a painting off, like kind
He
of
is
down
not.
the hallways.
He's not.
no. And on such matters, I'd like to introduce you to somebody. This is Commander Victor August. He is the current CO of Reiko 72A.
Senjia Weldrun? Is he a Carillion? I point to the painting.
Yes. Quite.
Have you ever been to Imperial City? Coruscant, if you're a rebel?
Yes, of course. And yourself, Commander?
No.
No. Well, it's a shame they have you parading around these backwaters of the Empire and not even the opportunity to see the crown jewel itself.
I start walking to the hallway towards him.
A bit more time here, and I'll most likely make my way back towards the core.
Boots clicking on the hardwood, echoing. I let him keep blathering.
There is an element to being out here where, an opportunity to extend the civilization of the Empire. Certainly, these Cailiri could use a bit of refinement.
Yes.
Wilfog, quite unusual that no one is not come back. Is it not at this point?
Quite.
I'm just staring at him.
Yes. Well,
Apparently, the last information we've been able to gather was that he was seen leaving.
we sit and
I'm going to roll
care for
intimidation.
a drink?
Quiet intimidation.
Okay.
Yellow will be wild. It's 4 dice plus 1. 9, 10, 11, 15.
15?
Plus 1.
Okay. You're
I just want to make him a little uncomfortable, and I want him to keep blathering.
okay. He seems kind of put off, and
I know he's way more powerful, but
yes and no.
Yeah.
Like theoretically, yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm
As-
giving him quite this there yet. We haven't arrived there yet.
As you kind of
He's the fucking interrogation droid still
Yeah.
floating
Wow,
over
wow,
your
wow,
shoulder.
wow. I was about to say,
Wow,
I was about
wow,
to say, as he like kind of enters his personal space, I kind of pick up on that, and I again break off, and then the droid, which was stationary next to me, now starts to drift along with me, and I just come up the other side. So it's if he's
Pincer.
he's going to start feeling like we're closing in on him.
Yeah.
I don't move in on him yet, but I just start walking up the side of the hall.
Yes, you can definitely tell he's uncomfortable. He's not used to being in positions where he's not in control and in charge, and he feels off put. So he kind of starts. Perhaps we'll step into the sitting room and we'll have a beverage and discuss this.
The interrogation droid has a standard intimidation of 6 dice.
Holy fuck!
Fior, bring us a bottle of something.
You are right, of course, Governor. They could use refinement.
Kind of.
Do you know about our commanding officer?
He's like kind of walking towards the other room and then stops awkwardly and like looks back. Are you guys following him, or are you just kind of
I
standing there?
stand still.
Okay.
I drift towards him now.
He kind of like he's like half turned back.
I start to come up on the side that like his back is.
Yes.
That's an uncomfortable feeling.
Gaius has mentioned that he has not returned. I understand.
I sent the message to the major some time ago. A good friend of mine. That's a lie. I mean, I know him, but I don't know if you need
Major
me to-
Strongwell. Yes.
a fine officer.
Yes. Quite fine.
Well, I'm still waiting for his response, so I apologize for the uninterrupted, for the unannounced interruption.
Well, certainly I'd like to make sure Norwin is. I'm sure he's fine. Probably just maybe a bit of an extended stay. So the NCC and Serwin's detachment can render assistance.
Yes, unless, of course, rebels arrived, perhaps via hyperdrive. They
Rebels
jump into the system. It wouldn't take long for them to destroy this place, sadly, with a few well-placed bombs. That's where we come in. We provide defense.
Are there reports of rebel?
Of course, there's always reports of rebels and pirates, people who would wish to do the Empire harm, people that could use refinement.
Yes.
Yes. I'm glad we agree. Another thing I was going to ask you is, this commanding officer that went missing, he runs that station that provides the security.
I back up a little bit and I go down to my comm and I say, Hunter Dew cleared for low flyover with the mention.
John, take a character point for bending the rules as necessary.
That's gangster. Did
That
I
was
hear it
awesome.
so I don't shit my pants?
You probably caught enough of it.
Okay.
But it looks like the governor's attention is pretty fixed. He's looking back and forth between Argus and Vilfug, and Argus and Vilfug.
He's
and then
waiting for Wilfug to bail him out, but he's not.
and the
right?
interrogation droid,
Yeah.
and then Argus and Vilfug.
I
There's a long kind of beat of silence. But,
Now,
like the shutters, like the windows are
you
shuttering.
feel the whole house kind of fucking shake.
holy fuck.
Is that
I say it would be a shame.
is that ours?
It'd be a shame. It'd be
Oh yes, of course.
It'd be a shame if the Sengia Weldron fell off the wall. Well, it'd be the least of our problems to say.
Apologize. They were just doing a routine check.
He looks very flustered at this point.
I say, Governor, do you smoke?
Yes, from time to time.
I offer him a death stick.
He reaches out. You see his palms are pretty sweaty. His hands are shaking a bit. Yeah, yes.
I light one for myself.
I
say,
remember
one of the benefits to being in the Outer Rim, is it not?
Yeah, well,
Excess, extravagance, fun. We,
small luxuries.
I say, I have taken on responsibilities for Reiko, thus defense of the system. Me and all of these fine officers you see before you, those TIE interceptors that flew by, ensuring that there were no rebels looking to drop bombs here.
like they did in Tacaxia. That's his last place that he lost to the rebels.
He like his eyes dart towards you when you say that.
Decaxia. A shame. But we're far from Decaxia. That was some time ago. Here's what I do know. We cannot allow a commanding officer to go missing and then not have all hands on deck to recover him. What type of message is it sent to our enemies? Should we do nothing about it? Should we just say, he ran off with a striking woman, a human woman, a striking human woman in a red dress? Ring a bell?
Yes. He reaches up. He's like loosening his collar and sweating a bit. Yes. Well, we had a dinner last night.
What's her name? Do you remember?
Yes.
He looks to his butler, who's going through the guest list.
Theo, what was the young lady, the newcomer's name? He says, Theo's kind of been standing in the back, says, looks down, Sella Lavar. Yes. She has not been on planet too long and had reached out along with a couple merchants, shipping interests, and such a small gathering of perhaps 9 or 10 of us, and had dinner. And Norwin, certainly they seem to take to each other well, and well, he wanted to make sure she arrived home safely, and they departed as such.
May I? You say she's a newcomer.
Yes, I believe Fior, yes. Fior says, yes, she made the acquaintance of one of Kuiper's managers here, and, well, I believe he invited her, as far as I know.
This manager. Who is he?
Otto Karoon, he was here as well.
I see. So Otto Karoon introduces you to Sella Levar, a newcomer, you say, hasn't been here long. She reached out to you. Shipping interests, you say. What type of value did you see in inviting Sella Levar to the party?
Well, she's cut from a bit of a different cloth than most of the locals, and
I hear she was beautiful.
yes, well, and quite refined, quite comfortable, in at the table, and I understood. I don't recall exactly what her profession was or what brought her here, but it again a small luxury. So
I think about Tacassia, and I just think of explosions and Imperial men dying. And I
with
think
this
about
guy at the helm.
guy at the helm.
Yeah.
And it starts to enrage me a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I think of how she's not been here long. I think of how she reached out to them. I think about how he said she had shipping interests a minute ago and then just said, I don't know what she does. I think about Kuiper's manager, Otto Karoon, and what his story might be.
Wolfhug, guys, this is I mean, all the information we could gather. I think perhaps we should let us get on the horn with NCC. I'll tell them to whatever resources they've committed to double it right off. How's that? How does that suit us? Yes, and let's chop and get to it.
Governor, I'm impressed. There is one small favor I must ask. I point to the security camera. Maybe? Perhaps Theo could show my communications officer.
The Montrose, the painting. I don't think I could quite part with it.
The camera.
Yes, cameras.
Due to the amount of refinement that some could use here, I would imagine you have security systems, yes?
Yes, we are.
Theo,
But,
I'm going to try this.
okay.
If I need to roll him in. Theo, escort him to it now.
Theo kind of looks to the governor and looks to you, and the governor kind of waves his hand, and he
Didn't
says,
want to give them time for fuckery, should there be any.
please come with me.
Thank you. It follows me.
Yeah, he brings you to like
I look to Cass, I say, to go with him.
okay. Cass nods and follows along.
I don't want him
And
getting
fucking groats Fior.
I don't want the coin getting pulled into a fucking spinning bookcase.
Yeah, you go off. There's a security room off to the side. You see a tech in an Imperial Army, very fucking bored-looking tech in there. As you walk in, Dan, he kind of young enlisted guy stands up, kind of surprised, and he says, "Sir,
Would you be so kind as to show me the footage dated 8 days ago from the party?
oh, that was last night.
Oh, last night.
Yeah,
yeah.
this is still the fucking day after, right?
Yeah,
I guess so, yeah.
There's only a few days ago the escape pod landed.
That's right. Okay.
So you see, and you kind of get a better idea of this little compound. It's mainly his house. There is a couple outbuildings. One of them is like basically a small barracks. There's probably a squad or so that rotates through here. The main Imperial Army barracks is just outside, a couple kilometers outside New Cailiri. But he takes you through it, shows you a few things.
I'm going to essentially capture an image of her and put it as a file that we can share across our data pads.
Okay, give me. Let's see. Does this? Wonder if I want to do computer programming or security. I guess you have access to it. Let's call it computer programming.
Okay.
in response to your little nastygram.
So it's a 21 though.
21. Okay. You successfully do your little nastygram task
Okay.
here.
Oh.
Great.
And then you review the footage. I mean, it's going to take a while to look through all of it.
Just take it.
Yeah,
So
I-
you can dump it to a data pad.
I do that.
But you probably scroll through really quick. You know the approximate time, and you see the two of them leaving.
So I want to grab the two of them leaving and her picture, but also who she came in with, the auto Karoon,
Okay,
Perfect.
and just have images of both of them.
got it.
Cool.
Okay, you do that. You dump the rest of the data in.
Doctor. Oh, did you not? Were you not done?
No, I'm
you
done.
said okay. Doctor.
I also use the interrogation droid on the security guard and just eviscerate him. No.
Scramble his fucking brain.
Yep. Mind probe deep.
Argus looks towards the doctor. I say, Doctor. I say, Governor, sit down. Stress. You're sweating.
He has a fucking coronary.
I say to the doctor, I say,
Theo, that drink. Forgetting Theo's left the room.
I say, please. We barged in here unexpected. You've been so cooperative. Is our Comforce man there? He's been quiet?
No, he didn't go with
Oh,
you.
that's right.
You
I say,
stuck him back up in the.
I
With
say,
his scrubbies.
yeah, I say to the doctor, I say, let's make sure he's okay. Perhaps you should check his vitals. You never know out here. Strange accidents happen. People get sick.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to try to intimidate the governor into making him feel like we can get to him in very different ways if we need to.
You're pretty sure he's
So he'll be cooperative.
intimidated
Enough.
on several levels.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I need then. He's like big man sweating.
Yeah.
I just have him sit down and have the doctor give him a quick look.
I'll get him. I'll go and get him a glass of brandy.
Okay. Medicinal brandy.
I'm going to let him do the patch. I'm going to let in other
patching
words,
it up.
I'm letting the doctor patch this up a little so we don't seem like fucking monsters.
Okay.
But kind of still want to seem like monsters.
Yeah.
I say, I'll meet you guys outside. I walk out.
Okay.
I'll walk out with you.
You're there with him, Matt, for probably 10 minutes or so on your own. And he kind of rambles a bit at first, and then definitely like you can tell he's been jarred by all of this, and then as the others leave, he starts to kind of like use you to feel more comfortable.
Good.
So he's very receptive to you. You feel like you definitely have play with this guy.
Nice.
Nice. So I mean, anything in particular you want to ask him or anything like that, or should we just small talk it?
Yeah, just small talk it.
All right.
Nice job on the flyover.
I figured it was a good accent on the point you were trying to make.
Indeed.
Orn and Orn and Cass come down the stairs with Fior and make their way out, and you kind of take that opportunity to make your leave as well, Matt. Doctor stands up. The governor says, "Please call as soon as Nolan is back home and safe, and both of you, you and he, will have to come back, and we'll have this bottle of Aldarian wine. Yes."
Yes, perhaps a game of Sabat as well.
Fantastic. Yes. So it'll be a better day coming. Yeah.
I'm standing on the front porch complimenting Randar on his flyover. I drop my cigarette, put it out with my tall boot right on his step, and leave it there. I wait for Orn to exit the palace.
I'm the last to exit, and I kind of just drift by him without saying anything.
Okay.
Kind of on the periphery, and then,
Cass doesn't say anything to him either.
and when
I would imagine so.
I mean, I assume he's just standing there looking at everyone who is left, Wilfug and
Yeah, he doesn't like walk you guys to the door. He just
No.
kind of sits there.
Gotcha. I just say I just on the way out I say, Governor, and I look at him just long enough to like harken back to the time that I brought up the name of that planet.
Yes. Take care. Good luck. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
When Arn exits, I say, Arn, I'm assuming you got what you wanted.
I have a data dump. Yes.
Did you install any surveillance?
Of course.
Well done. I trot down the steps.
Victor. Kung had found a compound along the line near where the escape pod was. Didn't get too close, didn't want to arouse suspicion, but
A compound.
we have coordinates.
I see. Well, let's do a high flyover and let's get some imagery.
All right, we'll do.
Now look at Cass. We may need it.
You get a another ping.
So Randar,
Metalhead Kung.
Kung, go ahead.
We got a craft inbound to that compound. Skimming over the trees.
Repulsor?
A-firm? Negative. Some kind of atmospheric speeder.
Heading towards it?
Correct. It looks like it's coming in for landing. There's a small opening there. Could not get a pretty good scan on it. We were trying to keep our distance. Definitely, yes, confirmed. Definitely one craft to that site, break. And looks like, well, they're not coming right back up. I mean, it could have been a real small transport too. I can't be sure.
All right, Kung, why don't you make a flyover, get some aerial of that compound, send it to our data pad.
Keep it remote.
Yeah.
Airspeeder? I say, with a question mark.
He didn't have a good read on it. Small craft, could have been a transport, but read as a land speeder.
No transponder?
Kung, any transponder on that vehicle?
Nothing active.
All right.
I mean, he can do a flyover, but I'm going to kind of run our little Star Wars universe as a pretty analog kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So there's no like fucking pull up your
Star
data pad.
Trek's-
And
I'm thinking like cool, like Battlestar Galactic, like maps on a desk.
Okay.
Like, you know, like photo images.
Got it.
Because that's fucking rad.
Yeah, he can definitely take some imagery.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like.
No, not like 3D.
It doesn't have to be like fucking super Star Trek shit.
Cass, you guys are at the bottom of the steps around the two speeders. And as Randar is having this conversation, and Cass says, "Sir,
Yes?
this could be pretty short on time.
You think they're moving him?
Well, if you have a remote location, you're trying not to get it noticed. You're taking a risk every time you bring a craft there. TIE interceptors just flew overhead, and you're going to bring a craft in. It's not to drop off the groceries."
Nero looks at the commander. Ed looks at you.
Let's go. I hop into a speeder with quickness.
All
Yeah.
right.
We might need those ties.
Certainly.
And we'll end it right there.
Are you going to get
I like that we... Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Nastagram. We hope you're enjoying Empire's End. You know the deal. We're going to ask you to spread the word, tell a friend, post about it online, do whatever you can, ratings, review, everything helps. And get involved. Got a great community over at Facebook at the Nastagram RPG Lounge, or just pop over onto the website, nastagrampod.com, links to all our socials, and bonus content and more coming soon. Our intro music, as always, is by a Wilhelm Scream. Scores this arc are from both Adrian von Ziegler and Antti Marttikainen. We'll be back with another episode next week. Why don't you bring a friend?
That's nasty.